When you are cutting your satin ribbon, whether it's single face or double face, once you have made the cut that you want to go with, whether it's a flat cut or a diagonal cut, you want to go back afterwards, and I want to heat the edges, and what that does is seal it so that it does not fray. Hi everyone! Today we are going to be doing a fresh cut rose and orchid centerpiece bouquet, long and low. So if you are following along and you've already got the product, then we'll get started. If you don't have the product, I am going to also post this on my Facebook and my YouTube channel, Princess Petals and Fairy Dust Florals, and the list of all the supplies will be there, so that you can start and stop this tutorial demo as you are creating your wedding centerpiece. I decided on a long and low just because when brides are wanting a long and low arrangement for their head table, this is a perfect example of what we would create. So I'm gonna move the camera down so you can completely see it. So I'm moving the camera down, there we go. So when we are creating this type of arrangement, I usually start with, I want it to be about 36 inches in length, and then I can always add more greenery to cascade it even longer down the length of the table. To begin with, I always tape down I cut it and I tape down the oasis. This is just a green utility dish. You can get them at your florist or wholesalers, and you want to tape it down. If you want to see the demo on how that taped down, I will also have that on my YouTube channel, Princess Petals and Fairy Dust Florals also. I went ahead and did it just to save time for the Facebook demo that we're doing right now. So a lot of designers, they will start by putting their greenery in first. And it's just designer's choice. I prefer to put my flowers in first. So I'm actually going to start with my roses. And let me also thank Curtis Flower Farm in Graham, North Carolina for providing all these beautiful flowers that we are going to be using today. All right, now we'll get started. All right, I am going to use my scissors instead of my handy dandy knife, since most will be using scissors when they're creating their design. I know I want my rose to be as long as possible. I have already gone in and stripped off all of the greenery and the thorns, and that demo is also on my YouTube channel also. So be on the lookout for that if you want to learn how to do that quickly and efficiently. So of course, you all have heard you want to cut your stems at an angle, and you are definitely going to want to do that. We go ahead and cut it there, and then right here I am going to push it in, and I want to push it in far enough that it kind of bites the oasis, meaning it's not loose and it's not gonna come out. So that's my longest one, and I'll back it up once we get more and get the length of it more. Then I always go in and put my next one in, and I want that to be almost the same length. Well, I want it to be the exact same length as my first stem. So I can tell you right now, the length of this is 36 inches. And you ask me, how do you know it's 36 inches? I've actually got my tape measure down here, or yardstick, you can put that down. So I've got that down, so I know exactly the length that I'm going, because I definitely want it to be a certain length to fit on a certain space. My next insertion is going to be up here. And I'm putting it at a catty corner angle. I don't know if you can see that. And then straight across, I'm going to put another insertion right here with my stem. And I am using white Vandella roses. It's actually it's an ivory color rose, so if you are looking for a really pretty ivory rose, that is a great one to use, the Vandella rose. And so now I've got them catty corner here. My next insertion, I want to put the height of what I want my arrangement to be. And since I'm wanting it to be a long and low arrangement, I do not want this to be very tall. So my hand is at 5 inches in length. So the stem is actually 5 inches and then the bloom on top of that. And you also want to remember when you are doing the arrangement, you want to have a definite front. And now I'm tapering down, so it's going to go kind of in a half circle here. When I'm finished, I'll back it up so you can see. I like to do a definite front because when the bride is sitting at the head table, you want to have a more full arrangement where because the bride and groom are going to be sitting back here and the photos are going to be taken from over here. So you definitely want to have a nice front and back for the arrangement. And then I just go in and start putting catty corner for the back side. And if you can hear, my dog is whining because she is not allowed in the room because she likes to be a yapper. And so now I have got one more insertion. So now I've got my two longest here, the 36 inch. Then I catty corner that are about 5 inches down and another 5 inches down. And then I bring one more set right here. And then straight across, one's gonna be up here. Then I put one catty corner here and one catty corner on this side, and then catty corner on this side. I put an extra one here because that is the front. And then I have also gone in and sprayed, I don't know if you could see that, there we go, these with Design Master paint. And it's a really pretty lavender color, if you can see that, next to the Vandellas. And I use the Design Master because it is this fabulous floral pigment that was created that adheres to the petals but doesn't adhere so much to the greenery. Because I know a lot of florists, when I first started in the industry 20 some years ago, we first started using spray paint, and that is very flat looking and definitely you know, doesn't look good on the greenery. So the Design Master is this fabulous product. You can definitely order it on Amazon. You can talk to your florist, see if they will order it for you. I, of course, get it from the wholesaler. And I am just inserting the lavender color roses in between. And I put one in the back. Now I want to start filling in through here with my lavender colors. So I've put catty corner here. I usually always do catty corner just so my colors are evenly distributed throughout the arrangement. And now I have got Dendrobium orchids. I've got ivory and also the really pretty dark purple. And we're gonna use those. And I'm only gonna trim just a tiny bit off. I'm putting one on each end because it is actually longer than the rose. And that just gives my arrangement an even longer, elongated look to span the length of the table. And now I like to take the Dendrobium orchids and I like to snip it right here in the middle. So now I've got these two great pieces that I can use throughout the bouquet. And I know you're only seeing one side of it, but this will also be posted on my YouTube channel, so you'll be able to see the different angles of the arrangement. So I'm going to do that again with my next Dendrobium orchid. So when you go and get packs of roses from a wholesaler, or you get them from your florist who will get them from the wholesaler, they will come in packs of 25. You of course can get flowers at your local grocery store. That I know a lot of brides say it's a very economical option to go. You can definitely go to your local grocery store and ask them, let them know that you are wanting to order flowers for your wedding, and that they can order cases for you. If you weren't aware of that, they can definitely do that, and they would love to do that for you. Your local florist can also do that for you. It is a little bit of a markup when you are ordering it from your florist. But I like to give my brides all different options for when they are doing a wedding, because weddings, they are an expense. And so far I have got in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stems of orchids. So that gives you an idea of how many stems we are putting in here. And I like to use all of the stems, you know, whether it's just a little tiny piece that's, you know, going in. Now I'm going to put in some of the beautiful dark purple orchids. And the reason I do not put my greenery in first, and I know florists that do put it in first, and that's their prerogative, there's no exact way or wrong way. this is just how I do it. I like to be able to see all of my oases. I also tell everybody on my YouTube channel, if you have any designs that you would like to see us create, definitely shoot us a message, and your idea may be our next YouTube demo. Some of these orchid blooms are not bloomed out yet, so they are going to bloom out and open up. I need to trim that up one more time. And you will also want to definitely put water in the trough there after you get it designed. All right, now we are putting in Status, another shade of purple that we're having in this arrangement. And Status, as you can see, comes in this really thick stem. You'll want to shave down the stem just because all of that stem is going to tear up the oasis, and you don't need all of that. And then you just want to start inserting and following kind of the same pattern as you did your roses, putting them in and then catty corner. Because I don't have all that greenery in there, I can see where I am putting my stems. And that is my main reason for not putting my greenery in first. Just because I really like to be able to see where my stems are going. But again, that is just designer's choice. And I'm definitely making my front a lot fuller than my back, but I don't want to have my back of my arrangement naked because, you know, the bride and groom and the bridal party are gonna see the back of it. So, you know, you definitely want it to be pretty for them, and you want them to be able to enjoy the floral arrangement also. Something I always tell my students is when you are designing, your you don't want your filler flower or your content flower higher than your focal flower. So just a little words of advice. If you are going to do that, then the arrangement is definitely not going to look proportionate. So remember to always make your filler and content shorter than your focal flower. And I have put about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 stems of status in this arrangement. And status is great because it comes, you know, I've got 4 stems, but it's got, you know, probably 3 lateral shoots off of each stem, which that just gives you a lot of flower to work with. And again, I'm just following the same pattern of where I put my greenery, my focal flower. I'm wanting to add my status in also. I'm trying to make sure I got everything covered on this, because what you are seeing, that is actually the front of the arrangement, so that's going to be what the bride and groom see. Just want to make sure I get that filled in nicely. All right, so I have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stems of status. My next flower I am putting in is called wax flower, and I'm using a pink wax flower. The wax flower comes like this. It also comes as one stem, but with all these lateral shoots off of it. And I just start breaking them apart and just inserting them into the different holes throughout the arrangement, because I want it to look full, but I don't want it to look bushy. So I kind of just follow that same pattern of catty corner and filling it in with the rose pattern. And flowers are definitely a lot sturdier than, you know, people take for granted how sturdy they are, because they like to treat them real delicate, but they are very durable, especially when you're inserting the stem. You want to make sure you're inserting the stem down here at the bottom. You don't want to insert it up here, trying to shove the stem in up here, just because you're going to end up breaking that stem or bending it, and then it's just not going to be useful in the arrangement. Trying to see where my oasis is there. There we go. There we go. So I've got 2 insertions there, one here on each end, and then on the ends. Now, I can always go back in and add more, and I probably will, but at this point, I want to go in and start adding in my greenery. And the greenery that I picked for today's arrangement is this beautiful baby pit, variegated. So, and again, it comes the same. You'll have X amount of stems in a bunch, and you'll just want to go in and just start snipping off the lateral shoots off of them. And I like to go in and just start putting them in really down low to start filling in my oasis, all my holes in my oasis. Also, as you can see through here, I still have that dish. I don't want to see that. That's not a beautiful dish. So I want to make sure that is covered. So I'm gonna go in and put that like at an upward angle to cover up that dish. And I wanna go definitely through the whole span of it to get it covered. And I'm just doing this very quickly for purposes of the video right now. If you can see that. Oops. It's little flowers in my way. Because when I put it down, that's covering the majority of the dish, but I'm definitely going to go back in and fill that in really well, because I don't want that dish showing. In the floral industry, we call that covering our mechanics. And definitely want to get all that covered up. And then I just go throughout the arrangement. If you can see, you can still see my oasis in here through pieces. I want to fill that in with greenery. So I'm just gonna go in and just start snipping my greenery tight and low. Just little pieces like this. And just start putting them in down low. Then after I've got all of my greenery in, I can go back and fill in with more of my wax flower that needs to be filled in if I feel like there's any holes throughout the arrangement. And the last greenery that I have, and I'm definitely going to go fill this in some more, is this really beautiful airy Plumosa. And this makes your arrangement just look very feathery and light. I love using this in wedding work. And I am just putting this right up, backing it up right underneath the roses. I'm definitely going to put some of this throughout the whole arrangement just because it just adds a lot of texture to the arrangement. I don't want to put so much in it that it overpowers it. So you definitely want to use it lightly through the arrangement. And I always, once I get it in there, then I just pull it down just because I don't want it to cover up so much of the arrangement. Then I definitely want to put some more underneath here. I like to put that even underneath the baby pit there. And I like to take my longest pieces, like the ones that are just long like this, and that's what I put on the ends of the arrangement underneath the rose, the longest rows, because that's gonna just really make the arrangement cascading. A rose on each end, which is, the length is 36 inches. My next rose is catty corner, So I've got one over here and then one on the opposite side right here, if you can see my hand right here. And then I just catty corner another one in on each side, but I'm bringing it up till I have one in the center. Then I do the same. I catty corner one rose over here, another rose over here, one rose over here, and then another one over here. So I do everything catty corner just to make the colors be very symmetrical and even throughout the arrangement. Then I just pretty much do the same thing with all the other flowers that I'm putting in the arrangement. As far as the wax flower, I'm putting that in catty corner also. I'd like to thank everybody that tuned in. Let me turn the camera up here so you can see my face. Here we go. Well, I'll just come down here also. Thank everybody that tuned in tonight. We did not do our drawing tonight for the bouquet. So everybody that is interested in signing up for the raffle for this bouquet, it is $10 per raffle entry. Shoot me a message and I will send you the link of where you can enter to win a bouquet for only $10. And you get a matching boutonniere to go with it. And then every other week we will be doing a drawing for a bouquet that we do in one of our tutorials every week. So don't forget to sign up for the raffle drawing. You can check out the rest of this bouquet on my YouTube channel, which is Princess Petals and Fairy Dust Florals. And again, I'd like to thank Curtis Flower Farm for all these beautiful flowers that they provided for us for this arrangement. And Curtis Flower Farm is in Graham, North Carolina, and they are fabulous. I've known about them for 20-some years, and I've worked with them on different locations for arrangements. So that is all I have for today. Let me make sure on my list. I want to make sure we cover everything. If you have any questions or if you have a design you would like to see us create for one of our demos or tutorials, shoot us a message and it may show up in one of our design episodes. So thanks for watching and we will see you later. Sparkle on. And then I know I put the ribbon in catty corner right there. I'm putting one on the other side catty corner. And then I'm gonna show this a photo of it. Again, I just wanna show the different angles of where we have the placements of the focal flower. The focal flower is the rose.